The New OGs. The New OGs is a State and Madison entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that helps them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, raise the value of your home, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a Black-owned company. They're a SunPower dealer and American panel maker with over 30 years of solar experience, and they even have a referral program that pays out as much as $500 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.com. Yes, sir.
Hey, Bobby!
Yeah, are you yelling?
I'm yelling. Hey. We got that much time. Don't interrupt my goddamn interruption. Did you just tell these people that they can save money on their electricity?
Yeah. That's
do something good for the bunnies in the forest.
Sure, for the bunnies, specifically the bunnies.
And if they know somebody else who owns a home and has a roof that can get solar, and they get solar, they get $500 every time.
$500 every roof. Yeah, that's the thing.
Man, that's better than all the cocaine I'm finna buy with this stimmy. Ooh, so much cocaine.
Well, you need the cocaine, obviously. But in the meantime,
I'm a little bit down.
In the meantime, get yourself over to www.gosolarmasters.com. They've just redone their website too, so check it out. Get in contact for a free consultation or to refer somebody that you know. We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. That is a network that we are on right now. Get over to People of Comedy on Facebook. See all the great shows they have offered there. Check in daily. They've got new fresh podcasts you can watch and listen to wherever you listen to pods. You have also been out filming a bunch of shows. You've had your services available for people who are looking for film work in Chicago now. 5 to 15 minute sets you're helping people out
5 to 15 minutes, 1 to 3 cameras, full HD to 4K with graphics, crowd audio, and board audio. The full special experience.
What's the turnaround time on something like that?
48 hours for that.
Wow, an approximate 48 hours. That's pretty good.
Oh, not approximate. 48 hours or less.
Oh, wow.
Guaranteed.
Wow, you got some fucking Domino style delivery on that shit.
We're talking mad shit and delivering. So 48 hours or less.
Considering some of the projects going on in the future, that's a good thing. That was one of the things I was thinking about with some of the stuff we were talking about doing here is the turnaround time on projects. But 48 hours or less is magnificent.
Trying to set a standard. So,
What, an untouchable one?
yeah, kind of something like that. Yeah, so
Also, I have to imagine for a man as busy as you, James, that quick turnaround frees you up because you don't have a bunch of shit on your deck.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're like constantly churning it out.
I've also mastered time travel in the last couple of weeks, so the being a master of time travel helps. But definitely, I mean, I've figured out a workflow that is very doable and reliable. So if you want your clips and you want them quick and you want them great, hit me up, DM me.
That's a solid move right there, especially with where we are right now. We're in a point where we're getting ready to start opening up a little bit. You know what I mean? Which is pretty sweet. What's going on with everybody? Rob, how you doing, man?
I'm
actually
cool, man.
Actually, before I ask you how you're doing. XL, how are you doing, man?
I wasn't gonna say shit. I was gonna let you do it again because I know this nigga got shit to say.
He does have shit to say.
And talk about I made another goddamn amazing sandwich.
Well, listen,
I had 2 weeks in a row. Back to back.
I fixed it. I
know. That's professional. That's why you got the car keys, baby. That's why you drive this motherfucker.
Hey man, that's why you run point. You dig? You get no look passes and shit.
Yeah, because I am definitely
right where I need it.
I am definitely at least as high as you guys are. So I feel good about it. You know what I mean? Like that's right.
So, basically, let me break down this sandwich real quick.
Yeah. Tell me about this sandwich.
I made some grilled chicken breasts, right? I seasoned them up real nice. I'm not gonna get into all the seasoning. That's too long of a story. However, this is a thing that made it. Ciabatta bread buns, right? 3 different types of cheeses, and a special XL sauce that consists of like 6 different condiments out my refrigerator that I was like, you know what? I bet this shit tastes delicious together. And guess what? I was right. This shit was right. Now, I will throw into the fact that I have been dieting and I don't eat until like 12:30 every day. Like I wake up and purposely don't eat until noon, at least until noon. And
regardless of how late you've eaten the night before.
Yeah, precisely. And sometimes I'll be high and go to sleep early. So that's like a 16-hour flip between food for a giant person like me.
I was thinking more in the realm, as somebody who doesn't go to bed early, I was thinking more in the realm of, I'll eat all the way till 4, 5 in the morning, goddamn it.
No.
Right back up at noon again, you know?
I will eat. I try to stop eating by 8, but sometimes I will eat like at 10 or something, but I'll eat something nice, like a banana.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But just so I don't, fucking eat. But anyway, my point is at 12:30, 12:45, I could have made that shit with drywall and cheese and it might have tasted delicious too. Because that would have been almost 17 hours since I had last eaten. So.
Well, you also had your first setback in a long time.
Oh my God. Shout out to the Laugh Factory Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah, Laugh Factory love shout outs.
God damn it, we're gonna get this right. Y'all making me look bad in front of the 6 followers. Shout out to the Laugh Factory and Curtis and the whole crew. Is it Kendra or Kimba? Kenda with a D. Damn, I missed it twice. Thank you, James. Shout out and Kenda.
Biden that shit. You know what I mean? Give it the old Biden. Give it the old Biden pronunciation.
Hey, hey, we gonna talk about it, but fuck it, I'll ride being Biden right now. come through, Joe.
We'll talk about that. But you had a good set last night.
I did. I was nervous as shit. Literally, mic shaking in my hand. And I stuttered a couple times, and I didn't think it was audible, or like I didn't think the audience caught it because everybody told me I had a nice set. However, when I listened to it, I heard every one of those motherfuckers. Like I caught every single, word fumble and stuff like that. But the crazy shit is, and I think this might be more attributed to the audience than to my talent. I think people are just happy to be out, and if you get close enough, it's horseshoes right now. If you get close enough to the joke, you're going to get some love.
Yeah.
You got to get the joke close. As long as you get close, you're going to land that motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a lot of favor being given to like intent right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I laid it out too last night. Like I made it very clear that like it'd been a year since I've been up, and like, I gave him fair warning. I even said, I was like, I feel like I'm about to tell a woman, like, I feel like I'm about to give instructions to a woman after I've had a dry spell for a while. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, listen, like my rhythm, my timing may be off,
That's something we got to talk about one show soon, is every man, his first go should get a pass for the sex. You should always get like at least 2 shots at the pussy, because your first shot is suspect, man. She a different vibe. She likes some shit you weren't ready for. Okay, I gotta adjust to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Whatever. It don't look as good when it's naked as you thought it would. I don't know. Whatever.
So I'm gonna tell you, like right after
second shot.
Right after I told you about that bit, my internet connection froze. And so like I didn't get any feedback for a quick second. So I was like, oh shit, that did
I saw you freeze and
it all.
Yeah, we just kept talking like, he'll be back.
I was like, did that shit not hit it all? And then all of a sudden you guys start laughing. I was like, oh, okay, good. They heard what I said. It's like, shit, was I lost out there? No, but it was a good set at Zany's. I got some very good, Brian Morton is a gem of a man. He is
is, man.
I think that there have for a long time only been a small amount of clubs in Chicago as far as like real clubs, right? Like, and the Improv is in Schaumburg, but you count it because it is a spot where you can be a Chicago comic and go to regularly. But like, there has been a love-hate relationship, I think, for a lot of the comics with Zanies in the past. due to either being in with that system or opposed to that system or indifferent to that system, right? And Zany's has had a very old school comedy way of looking at things for a long time. And I think kind of similar to the way that the Comedy Store like changed largely when they had a change in who was dealing with some of their booking, and they updated the booking, the talent at the booking level. I think that Zany's, by adding Brian Morton, has really changed like what's possible.
Here's the crazy thing. That place is much like some other spots is in a gold mine for like foot traffic and everything. And they had a consistent crowd, but if they can get a real like a following, like making that a place to be, because right now I feel like it's they fill the place out, but there's a lot of it's touristy and suburbanites. It's not like a hip place where like 20 somethings are like, what are we gonna do? Oh shit, we gotta go.
I think the
20 somethings go to Laugh Factory.
Well, there's a reason for that, and that reason will be solved by that man, because that man knows comedy. I'm saying like this other dude he figured he knew it because he felt he built it, so he wouldn't listen to anybody else. This new dude is listening and being in the middle of what's going on, so you're going to always have fresh shows. That means that you'll have fresh crowds following those shows, particularly because of social media. And on that note, allow me to say,
wait, hold on. Now, before you drop this, I also want to add, I'm a chaffle guy now. I make chaffles. Listen, if you're paying any, because you talked about your goddamn sandwich.
I know. I saw the picture.
Right?
I saw the picture of your chaffles, and that was the first time I'd ever seen the word chaffle.
Look, I
knew what it was because you talked about it.
If you like cheese and eggs and a little bit of meat, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go on whatever your place you will order things from and find you a mini waffle maker. There's a company called like Dash, sells all different kinds. You can get a very basic one for like $10. All right. You order this thing. It makes like 4-inch waffles. Now you can make regular waffles with it if you want to. There's very simple waffle recipes. But what you can also do is you can take cheese and an egg and like a little bit of bacon bits sprinkled on, and you could make a waffle out of that shit. And then you could put a sausage patty in between two of those motherfuckers.
God damn.
That sounds delicious.
That is breakfast.
I have to also add a little bit of maple syrup because I'm fat.
Right.
But
I have a smokehouse ranch that I can use that I drizzle to get a little of a condiment on there. A little smokehouse.
Wow,
ranch,
that is amazing. All I hear is like arteries hardening.
Hey. I'm saying this on the podcast, not for the
I see James thinking, he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm staring at your Instagram post right now, and
he's in love with it. Like his mouth is watering. Guess what James is having for breakfast?
Lunch and dinner, dude. I'm fucking. This is all I'm eating from now on, bro.
Chaffle sandwich.
It's one of those easy to clean, easy to make things, dude. It takes like 10 minutes.
Have you ever had high-end maple syrup?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like straight from the teat. Yeah, dude. So
yeah.
Good.
Hey man.
The maple
hey, fuck you. Just because you refuse to love the greatest thing that the Lord ever made besides pussy, which is sugar. Sugar is like sweet.
I love sugar. That's the problem.
I know.
That's the problem.
But you like you kind of at war with it. You like an Israeli and Palestine with sugar and shit. Like y'all both love the same place.
No, I'm like
motherfuckers at war.
No, I'm like a drug or an alcohol addict who smokes and drinks coffee all the time, right? Like I've replaced the one addiction to sugar with like these fake sweet sugar. That's the thing. Like I still make a bunch of sweet shit. It's just fake.
You don't do cocaine, you do meth. I get it.
Yeah.
Hey, I first want to say, XL, you making me look real bad. Because you got your background up and I couldn't technically figure out how to put my shit up fast enough. So y'all both matching and I'm out here by myself. And I feel like this shit is like kindergarten. Like one of these things are not like.
But you need to be promoting yourself. What do you got going on, man?
I have thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I have we are about to release I can't say much, But what I can tell you is the shit that we are about to release around the 22nd is global. Like, it's not, the people in this chat need to share this so that they can tell other people, so they can be at the ground floor of what's about to happen.
What can you say or not say about what's about to go on?
This could be
Sunday. Something's happening. You have something new dropping from you.
Sunday, something is going to be a little something, but it's not the thing. But what I'm saying is, the thing that the most important thing, because I don't want to give away much, and I'm a dumb guy. I'll give you way more than I fucking should.
Hey, why some people get publicists?
Right, but Dick, that's the thing. I got one, so that's why this is crazy shit. It's because I got one, and I just got them in like past week, so they haven't really talked to me yet. And they just officially signed on today.
This is what. Well, congrats, man. You have a publicist. This is one of those things though where you got to get a hold of the publicist. You're gonna be like, all right, how much of what I can say can I say?
Right. But I just figured it out.
They type up a nice little paragraph for you, bam, Rob. These are the things you can say about it.
Right. Now here, but this the thing. I didn't even know that was an option. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know how to use a publicist because I never goddamn had one. However, I appreciate the input and I will do as follows.
It's like shit we could have talked about before the show started.
Wait, but Dig, you told me not to say shit and save it for the show, so I'm telling on you like you telling on me, nigga. I ain't gonna be the only one out here with my slip showing.
So if you're not, I didn't even see what you changed your background to, Bobby. I changed it. I swear to God, I wasn't looking. I was trying to find mine to switch it. I just noticed that we switched to the same shit.
You guys are just bullying Rob all show.
I know. It's like, just let the man have some success, goddammit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Finally, we are doing something, and that's the most important thing.
So what you're saying is Sunday, something there's some type of new something with you involved coming out, a teaser of something that's going to be dropping on Sunday for a new project.
Right.
With a familiar face.
What I can tell you, you could affiliate this. What you know me for is about to happen on Sunday.
More of what we know you for is happening.
More of what you know you for probably gonna happen is about to happen.
Better do your research. Hey, Steph Curry and the Warriors, you better check the new shit.
My goodness, I'm smoking some really good weed. You niggas are amazingly entertaining right now.
Oh man, how do we transfer that to talking about? Well, that's good because the coming out party is happening. I don't know. I feel like it's the most hopeful it's been in a minute for at least something better than how it's been. Like there was a trend where it was just like, oh shit, it's getting worse than it was. Oh shit, it's getting worse. Oh shit, it could be worse. Oh God, they're storming the Capitol, right? Like it's like, it's like, oh my God, there's actually people trying to literally overthrow the government right now.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Wait, you just put this here real quick. This is why massa keep the slaves working. Because the moment you let them sit down and think about it, they're gonna fuck everything up.
Dude.
But seriously,
if you're new to our show, if this is the first time you watch our show, maybe you just came in the last few weeks since Rob has been here, you can go back and listen to our old shows and hear us say stuff like, yeah, this is as bad as it can get. There's nothing worse that can happen. And then the next week, hear us talk about the shit that we thought could never happen. Because, there's no way they do this. And then they do the shit.
There'd be some new shit about to drop. And they'd be like, obviously, after this, everybody's got to be like, this nigga can't stay here no more, right? Like, every week it was like, there's no way after this next bomb, there's no way they're going to be like, the Sandman's going to come out with the fucking hook for his head.
Hey, man,
Trump administration had more felonies than the Wu-Tang Clan. These motherfuckers somehow kept their jobs.
I swear to God, man, that's the thing that made me realize this shit ain't really what it's saying it is. You dig what I'm saying? It washed over me like, oh, maybe if this happened, they'll finally believe it. No, maybe if that happened, these people ran in there and smeared shit on the walls and shit.
Dude, that's the craziest
thing. The next day, everybody was shocked. Then 2 days later, them same people was like, Oh no, those are black people who did that shit.
Right.
I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Hey, here's the crazy thing. This is the crazy thing. To show you how fucking racist these motherfuckers are, because like just understand the racist of their mind. I'm not talking about the people who did the attack. I'm talking about the Republicans that tried to defend it or divert the shit. There has been a 5-year campaign by the Democrats talking about how Russia has been attacking America and doing misinformation and doing all kind of shit. They had a whole nother target in another country that they could have lied and said maybe it was the Russians. Because the motherfucking Russians look like the people who ran inside the building. They could have just made up some shit with some Russian shit. And they couldn't even think that far because their racism won't let them see.
No, you got this all wrong, bro.
Yeah,
you
man,
got this
you
all
got
wrong. The reason they couldn't blame the Russians is because they was working for them. You can't go to your, hey man, this dude, my boss made me do this shit on a global level.
Yeah, here's the thing. Spycraft. Yeah, you do.
I think you guys
that way you don't look like you guys
are both being absurd about it. They don't care. Rob, you've expressed this before. They just need a reason. Like the goal is not trying to figure out a more convenient scapegoat. The goal is just to make any scapegoat. Any scapegoat is all that matters. So it could be like and currently here's the thing. Currently they are more at they are not. The issue is that the vendetta of white people in America against anyone else who tries to be on the same level as white people in America will always face the same fight. It's been the same thing consistently, whether it's trying to get a black woman into a seat in the cabinet, whether it's trying to get some equal voting laws, whether it's trying,
you started more recent in the game when you first said trying to get a black woman to see. I thought you was going back to Rosa Parks.
Right, but exactly though, it is like
it's
literally it's an infinite loop of the same back and forth situation going on, and and it's the same thing when you look at like. Every time there's a Republican who sinks us into a hole, whether it's pandemic aided or not, it's always on this new Democrat to spend the next 4 to 8 years fighting to try and like find a new low level for us to try and rebound from, or some other inflated balloon for us to ride on for a while. And now here we are. We're a year into the quarantine. There's 2.6 million dead worldwide. 530,000 in the US are dead. And once again, we're on the way back up because now they've come out and they said that the vaccinated can now congregate with each other, which is tremendously good news. I mean, I don't want to short circuit. I'm not trying to short circuit the fact that the whole thing seems like a Ponzi scheme with the fact that like, it's great that, you can go see your grandpappy again. Like that's like, hooray, man. Like go see him. Right. Like I don't want you to
misunderstand. I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. I agree with that. That's always the vision that I have when I walk out the door is that it's all bullshit. But I'm saying the reason there is actual practical shit that is happening, right? This motherfucker got elected because of the Russians. You understand? Like, so not only would he have not gave a shit anyway, because that's who this man is,
for sure,
but he had to do exactly the opposite because he didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I'm not debating that. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to who you would blame, who you try and like in the effort of gaslighting, of course you blame it on Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Like, that's such an easier move. In the meantime, though, yeah, like, we can discuss some of the issues that we have with where we landed on the stimulus and Biden at some point, but the fact that he is instructing all states to have every adult eligible to get vaccinated by May 1st is, I think, amazing.
That is super amazing, man. I'm excited about that. I'm starting to buy all Johnson & Johnson products so they pick me first. Like
I just say the name of my house so all my social, like all my computer shit starts like bringing up the information.
For some reason, the baby powder, the talc is like super cheap right now. So I'm like buying like bunches of that shit, giving it to all.
That is amazing.
Yeah, they need to find a way to get the formula into the talcum powder, and that way they can just be like, John, just keep buying, just buy the shit we make already, nigga. We don't need to, like Johnson & Johnson baby powder now with the coronavirus vaccine. Just.
Hey, Dr. Fauci said some wild shit apparently his goal is like motherfuckers was trying to give him credit for how fast the vaccines are working and getting all this stuff out. He was like, actually, this is not that impressive. What we need is oral. Like, you shouldn't have to go somewhere and get a shot every time you need some shit. Like, we should just be able to pop, like, you get a prescription for this shit, bam. Take this pill once every 6 months. Some shit like that. You'll never get the fucking coronavirus.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah, but apparently they're working. Like... I'm sorry. My talk was that's like what they're working towards now. And apparently they've also developed Maddow. I don't know if you guys watched Maddow last night. She talked about they've developed a couple treatments that are basically cures.
Hey, man, listen, after last night and being in that club and like getting to go on stage and like even just being mad that I didn't say a line the way that I wanted to say it. Like I'd been some of my shit was like some old shit, but I like revamped it with like some different energy and shit like that, and maybe a couple changes. And like even like I had actually said one line that was more the old version and not the newer one. And even just like the ability to be up there and feel that little bit of anxiousness where like only I know I fucked it up in a way that isn't fucked up, but is fucked up to me. But knowing like I got to keep going and not like chastise myself in front of a crowd that doesn't know I did something wrong in my head, right? Like even that energy was so good. I need more of it. You know what I mean? It's like, and hey, so man. like I said before, like whatever, give me whatever version you want to give me. Like,
hey, I didn't know I had a good set until the third person said good set. Like the third person's like, hey man, that was a great set. And I was like, oh shit. It was good because the time the third person said that, I was walking from the stage thinking of all the shit that I didn't fucking say. And also, this is inside baseball. This is comics. We only care about this. This is for the comics watching. I was at Laugh Factory. They have the red light on the side. And I never catch the moment when it comes on. I'm always up there and I look over and it's on. And you guys know me and my fucking stories and shit. So I have to know where I'm at in the story to know like, oh shit, I got a minute. I got a blah, blah, blah. And so there's always that, hey man, was that on at the beginning of this motherfucking story? Oh man. Or did that shit come on right when I ended that joke? Like, do I have a minute or did I just run the minute?
Right.
Like,
dude, I have done that and had been talking for 45 minutes. And I look up and like, oh shit, when did that come on? Right? Like, what the fuck? What am I doing now?
Well, I'm colorblind, so I have to see. When I walk into a new spot, I always have to. If they don't tell me, I have to ask right away, like, "Where's your light and where does it come from?" Because I need to know, like, if I can see it or not from the stage. Because I had it happen in New York when I was I did a show at Manhattan Comedy Club. And the light was like, it was one color red, and I guess it turned to a different color red when it was your minute. And I was like,
I don't see shades.
Like Kelsey was sitting next to the sound booth, and she had to tell the guy, like, hey, like what color, like he can't see your light. Like that's why he's still going. He can't see. He doesn't know where your light is. Like, and so that's when I was like, oh shit, I have to ask this question all the time. So, but yeah, man, I want to be out more, man. They got there. So here's the other thing about Biden. What Biden has done though, like it was supposed to be, I think, 100 million shots in the first 100 days, and they hit that in I think the first 60, and now they're at 2 million shots a day right now, and I think they're getting to 3.
They're almost to 3. They're almost to 3.
Yeah. But also like. The other part too is that yes, it's getting better, but like you could still get coronavirus and die. Like if you're not vaccinated, like you could still get coronavirus and die. And places like Texas have lifted all their restrictions. So now they're doing 100% capacity at baseball games this summer. They're just like, fuck it, it's on. I'm still not, like when the first new model of something comes out and you're like, nah, I'm gonna wait till y'all revamp.
I'm a second gen motherfucker all the way. Like I'm always like
they're going to reopen this shit and I'm going to be like, no, y'all go outside and tell me what it's like.
Hey man, that's what, you know what? I wasn't going to, I mean, I always knew I had to take the vaccine. I knew I was going to do that. because I'm not stupid. Like, you know, I let them put a kidney in me. I could let them, because, you know, I hear a lot of people who I know are really smart. Man, don't take that stuff. They're going to put the mark of the beast in you, and you're going to have a mark on you, and they're going to be able to tell where you go. I'm like, no, man. They already have that. They got a cell phone. Everywhere I go, I take this dumbass cell phone, so they know where I'm at all the time. And I know it because every time I go into a store, the next day I get advertisements for that store. Right. So I know that's happening. So I was gonna take it anyway. But I tell you, when I heard y'all talking about Johnson & Johnson, I felt a little different. Like, no, I ain't fucking with them. They've been tearing up coochies all over the world. You've been messing up coochies. I can't support that.
Well, you know, we were talking a couple of weeks ago. There were a couple of like Catholic like priests or whatever who are opposed to the Johnson & Johnson because it has fetal stem cells in it, which is like such a ridiculous.
Wait, why? Like what
stem cells from abortions.
Like I'm saying, but what reason would they have to put that in it?
The stem cells are used to be able to create the type of response.
It's the mark of the beast, Rob. Duh.
No, they use stem cells. The mark of the beast. Stem cells are basically like blank cells that can convert to anything, so they're more easily adaptable when you're trying to get like a vaccine into somebody.
No, I'm talking about the powder. I wasn't talking about the vaccine. I thought you said they put stem cells in the powder. I'm like, and when did they start doing that? Like, oh my god! I'm still on the fact that they teared up coochies. You know what I'm saying? That was more important to me. So I was still stuck on the powder. Like, man, this ain't cool. I got women in my family. Y'all tearing up coochies.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I like how having women in your family is the
right. It's all about how it affects me. Yes, sir.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
On the flip side, outside of that, I don't know. Like on the flip side, we do have a $1.9 trillion relief bill that's coming out. I'm not calling it. It's a relief bill. It is a relief. It's not. They're going to call it stimulus, but it's a relief bill.
Yeah,
it's people for sure need some goddamn relief.
I don't give a fuck if they call it the make you less broke bill. Hey, they should call that shit. They should just call it the non-stimmy, the semi-stimmy. There it is. This is a semi-stimmy. It's not a full stimmy. It's a semi-stimmy.
There are some. I mean. It's not the 2,000 that was originally quoted by Biden, but there is a lot of money in there if you've made babies.
Hey man, I will go to the math.
If you made babies, I understand you. I understand it's 2,000 total with the other 600. I get that. I hear that. I understand that. I'm not trying to shit on that right now because there is additional. There's an additional $300. They've extended the unemployment benefits to $300 a week. There's money if you got kids, you know what I mean? If you got young kids, I wish they would give a break to dads who have to pay child support because they're also broke right now, right? Like,
hey, mom,
that percentage is fucked up.
Moms out there, if you getting child support and you getting that $300 tax credit because you taking care of the kid, get a pops a break with that $300. You know what I'm saying? Take that shit off his bill.
At least give him $150 off the boat.
You got 3 kids. That's $900.
I mean, he's probably struggling a little bit right now. He's probably struggling a little bit too.
No love. You can't cut him no break.
I'm not talking about paying. I'm not about giving him cash. I'm talking about cut it off what he owe. Just be like,
I'm saying
give me a
that's why he left your ass.
You just ain't a team player.
Yo, trifling ass.
You're not a team player.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you gotta have it all them dollars. You know they not going to the kid anyway. The kid's at the crib. There ain't no play dates going on. Ain't no dance recitals. What you paying? Internet? You paying internet? That's the whole thing. The whole bill is internet and Go-Gurt. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
Internet and Go-Gurt. Man, that's horrible, but it's true.
What you spending $10 a month on Fortnite for that little boy? Get out of here. you don't need all that 300. Come on, 50
anyway,
off what we.
Hey man, this was so incredible about that.
Something. Maybe he'll take you back. Maybe he'll give it another try. If you cut him a break on the motherfucker.
It's not even about another try. It's just like a sign of goodwill. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I know we're all in this together. It's tough times for everybody.
I want to make something clear. I am not speaking for myself. We good.
No, I'm just telling you. Like, it doesn't always have to be about trying to get back. It's sometimes just like, oh yeah, we made a thing together. Why don't we just do a cool thing and like help each other out for the minute? It's shitty on everybody right now. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna just tell you how this was a roller coaster for me. This was amazing. So my first thought was, oh man, you ain't got that kid. Get that girl that money. And then I thought about it. I'm like, but wait a minute. We ain't took them. They ain't been going nowhere. They ain't done shit. You ain't have to dress them. You ain't have to pay for shit. Shit, you kind of right about this.
But if you're the one who pays support, like if everybody has got depressed money right now, that means that like the bill that was set when you was having whatever money you had is also depressed right now.
Yep.
Get that vengeance out your heart.
Right. It's team up. We're living in a society.
Like what was happening for dudes that wasn't working and the child support was still adding up? What was happening for them?
Right. Oh, they losing their license.
They're getting broke the fuck off. Hey man, there is no justice in that land, man.
Yeah, it is what it's supposed to be. They figure out what it affects, who it affects the most, then they make it the law. That's how the law is made. That's how the sausage is made. It's based on who you want to fuck over. You decide how to make the law work.
I can't say the name, but there's a legendary child court story of this cat who was he made a lot of money. Let's just leave it at that. And but his paperwork said he didn't make a lot of money. And so he was in child court, he wasn't paying his thing, and he said, "You see what I make? I'm giving what I can." And the judge looked at the lady and said, "I can't do anymore." And the woman screamed out, "Check his pockets!" And she was like, "What?" He was like, "Check his pockets. See how much money he got in his pockets." Him being the baller type Southern brother, pockets were very, very wealthy, and he couldn't explain all that money.
Literally had the money on him in his pockets.
Hey, you got to know. If you know Southern cats. That is how you roll.
Yeah,
man.
Sure.
Like you roll with a knot. You don't
Sure.
roll with a knot.
Speaking of knot, it's a $1.9 trillion stimmy, $1,400 to the people, $300 a week in extended benefits. I think it's like $3,600 depending on how old your kid is, if you got kids. I think it's per kid too. So it's like there's money out there. It got 0 Republican votes on it, which makes me wonder why they didn't just keep the $15 an hour minimum wage in there in the first place. Like the niggas didn't vote for it anyway. Who we negotiating against? Joe Manchin?
No.
Exactly.
We negotiated against Joe Manchin and Chris. None of them voted for it anyway.
Here's why you leave it out. Because if you leave it in and they go to court, because they can go to court and sue to block the legislation, they could go to court and say the $15 hour thing, the parliamentarians say no, the thing that like 65% of Americans are in favor of. That's not how the law works.
I understand listen, I understand that's not how the law works. I'm not sitting here going, well, since 65% means that's how. I'm saying that that is going to be an unappealing thing for them to do at that point. You know what I mean? Like
Republicans blame black people for a giant crowd of white
people
running in a building.
I would have rather had the Democrats.
I'd have
rather had the Democrats push them right to that edge, though. I would have rather had them push it to the edge.
No, because then it jeopardizes the entire legislation, and that becomes a talking point for the legislation for the Republicans. We ain't giving them shit. We taking as much as we can. I know you guys have.
Who are we negotiating with?
I know you have a burn the system down mentality, but I actually believe
I don't have a burn the system down mentality.
I believe the structure. I think we need to change the motherfuckers in charge.
I don't have a burn the system down mentality. I think the system is broken, but I don't have a burn the system down mentality.
So if we believe in the system, we have to go by the rules that the system has. We take as much as we do, man. You can't.
But they don't.
Yeah, but you don't act like them.
Man, fuck that. We've been doing this.
That's how you lose, man. That's just
what the fuck is the point of having the rules, man? We just don't have the rules then.
Exactly.
That doesn't work for us.
It's all a matter.
We're the minority. We get shit on if that happens.
The rule is always up to interpretation. That's their whole argument. Always is that the rule is up to interpretation, and so it all depends on who you have interpreting the rules. That's how it always works. It's not about burning down the system, or it's not like the choice are either you want to burn the system down or you can only work within the framework of the system. I want to reframe how the system works. No, that's not. It's not just simply black and white, man. It's not you either want to burn the system down or you have to work only within the confines of the specific rules of the system.
I agree with change the system.
That is not.
But there's a way to change the system. The way to change the system isn't by putting out a piece of legislation that you know is going to fail in court. The way you change the system is you put out the right legislation, you win the hearts and minds of the populace because 65-70% of the people love this fucking thing, and they're going to get money in their fucking pockets, and they're going to know that the Democrats did it. The press and everybody else is shitting on the few Republicans that tried to take any ownership of this shit already. And when they try to campaign on this shit later, they're not going to be able to. That's how you win. That's how you change who's in the court.
The problem with what you're saying.
That's how you change who's in the court.
The problem with what you're saying.
That's how you keep the Congress and take over the Senate, by doing shit like this. The way we failed before is we did way too much negotiating, believing we were going to get their votes.
You're negotiating with Joe Manchin. You what the fuck were they negotiating for?
It was a parliamentarian.
They were negotiating for anything. With who? Who? They did nothing. They did everything except less than what they said they were talking about doing.
What I tried to describe to you in the beginning, was the fact that you are surrounded. You understand? No matter what the rules say, it doesn't fucking matter. Dig this. When you said it was the parliamentarian, what you're speaking of is precedent. You're saying that if you go against precedent and you go to court with it, then they're more likely to throw it out. And in theory, that's true. But in practice, they already have the courts. That's what they did with the last dude. And every time I mention it, people act like I'm not saying the truth.
No, you're making my point. You're making my point, Rob.
So why would you take it to the courts when they own the court?
That's why they took the. You don't understand the point.
What I'm saying. Dig what I'm saying. If these
that's why they took the $15 out.
Dig what I'm saying. If they decide tomorrow they want to take this thing to court, they can do that and win.
No, they can't. No, they can't.
You guys hold on. You guys need to be more verbal about who they are and what you're talking about.
He's saying if Republicans.
You guys need to each be clear about your own self, not to tell each other who each other person is talking about.
Let me say this, Rob. I agree with you about Republicans having judges. However, I will say this before you say anything else. The Supreme Court thus far, in the term of these 6 Republicans that are supposed to be the death knell of everything that we want, they have gone by the rule of the laws on every case. There's been surprising. They have not acted as if they were completely Republican or whatever. They have, like, a lifetime appointment doesn't make people act politically because they have no motivation. They can't get fired. There's nothing that they can lose or gain. They're judges.
If they hate you when they put you in there, they do what they want to do. Now they do it for life. And this is what I keep trying to tell you. You're trying to make it fair in a space that it could never be fair in. You understand? With the 200-year head start, everything in the culture is built on that. So everything that you make an effort towards doing has to beat that first. And you can't. So that's why I am with tear the shit down. No, I don't want the police doing the shit they was doing. I want them to do what they supposed to be doing. But the only way you're going to do that is tear the head off the snake. Because every time we go through all this, we march, we cry, we watch our children just be blown away, and we always come to this space. And I'm saying this is the way to solve it. And that's through economics.
Actually, Bobby, can I say we got to get a sound effect that says Robert Hines Hotep moment because it's gonna be one every show.
Well, I want to be clear. Like, it's not that I don't understand that game plan, right? Like, I get that game plan, but also like they fired parliamentarians, and like when somebody wants to win, there's always steps you can take to try and like go for wins. And you can, and like it's not cheating. It's been done plenty of times. There's precedent for firing the parliamentarian. It's
like
happened
two or three times, and every
how many times you need to have it? I'll take it.
But nobody looks at that history as like they did the right thing.
So
like every time they're like when you bring it up, it's like this person did it and it was fucked up. They shouldn't have done it.
George Bush did it. He had 8 years in office. So who gives a fuck? Like, did he get his 8 years? Did he get pretty much to do whatever the fuck he wanted during that time?
We want to play by rules that we are the only ones playing by.
It's not even just that. Like,
when you have the lead, yeah. Because
it's not just playing by the rules, though. It's not cheating, though. That's not cheating.
When you do the shit that they do, when you do the shit where you go outside the lines, when you do the shit where you just you say, fuck it, I'm gonna do it either way. Where you do all that shit, all that shit loses in court. Republican, conservative judges, liberal judges, whatever, all that shit always loses in court. Everything the Republicans do gets shut the fuck down in court. They get it for a minute, but it always loses in court. Our shit stayed. The Republicans have been trying to tear down Obamacare since the day that shit passed, and them motherfuckers have been losing in court the entire fucking time. Even when they tried to vote the shit out, they couldn't do it because we did the shit right.
Again, I think it's a matter of
supposed to do it.
Again, I think it's just a matter of like who's determined. At the end of the reason, the whole point that there's a court system is to determine whether that way that you did it was the way you're supposed to do it or not.
And that's
my point is they're gonna challenge the shit no matter what. So like go for what you can go for. Like you don't.
You do it the right way so they can't.
It could still be the right way, depending on who is interpreting it. That is the actual point. The right way is just based on.
What I'm trying to tell you is the way that they did it right now is going by how the judges that are in out right now. This is why they don't lose. This is why we still have Obamacare. This is why Obamacare is still standing.
This is why they don't lose. And then when the midterms come.
The reason why you still have Obamacare is you had the hopes and dreams of the entire country on the back of one cracker. They were one cracker away from getting rid of this shit. And it's, again, man, I'm just saying the best way to change the law is to have money. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let's talk about somebody who still has some influence. Trump is he's still trying to take over the GOP. He's saying there's no more monies for rhinos, and he told them to stop making donations to the Republican Party. He was like,
I love this dude. He is awesome. He is so wipe off his entire ass, and he's sitting on him on the way out the door, and they just standing there eating the shit like, God damn, can't anybody go stop this?
Dude, I watched an interview on Axios with Lindsey Graham, and it's so funny the amount of times I'll watch an interview with somebody who is like mesmerized by somebody's fame that is built on white supremacists and like white supremacy ideas. Because like I watched this Lindsey Graham interview and he's like sitting there talking like he just got this thing that just like he pulls in the widest, most diverse, blah, blah, and he said this. And I'm like, yeah, because he preaches this like nationalist shit. Like, what are all those different things you're talking about have in common? Nationalism, like basically white nationalism backed by white supremacy. That's exactly what like. Why are you acting like this is a surprise, dog? Like
he wasn't like he flat out said he didn't say Jesse Helms. I forgot the congressman he said, but whoever it was somebody who's known. What's the governor of Alabama back in the day?
Bull Connor I know
it doesn't matter. Fuck it. The point is he named like Ronald Reagan and two super racist people and Ronald Reagan as the combination of who Trump was, like, and said he was magic or whatever and shit like that. It's like, man, if you don't like this. I'm at a loss for words. I don't even know how to fucking deal with it.
Absolutely. Everything you're saying is true. Everything you're saying is true.
It's a weird time for their party because, and I don't want to just because I think that I would have liked it had the Democrats gone bigger on what they went after. I don't want to be mistaken. Like, it's a huge accomplishment to get a $1.9 trillion package passed, and the money coming out is going to change. Like, they've basically created a UBI for kids. There's a UBI for babies where like child poverty is supposed to be cut in half is what they're saying by this. Like that you want to talk about trying to do some shit to try and even the playing field. Like, that sounds like an attempt to do that. Like, here's how I know it's
this is the type of shit that might just change votes, because
here's how I know it's an attempt to do that. Yeah. And you know, my thing too is like, fuck a Joe Manchin, right? Like, go after some states that have places where you can get a Democrat who isn't going to be like Joe Manchin once he gets in there. But the other thing too is you can tell that this shit is big, because the GOP is so focused on like nonsense shit right now. Like, the bigger that, because like this is how it always works. Like, every time that Democrats come around and come with some good, like real strong financial policy, that's when the Republicans get into culture shit. Like, that's when like the trans shit becomes a big deal. And we've talked about Potato Head and Seuss, and now Pepe Le Pew has been the big thing for the last week. It's like, it's always going to, like, because they don't have an idea, right? Because they're not pushing out any ideas on how to help people. Right. The people who pitch themselves as like, we are here for the working class. This guy won Ohio and Wisconsin and shit 4 years ago based off like, I'm here for the working class. Yeah. And now they're like on TV talking about Pepe Le Pew, and they have no ideas on how to help the American people.
So here's the thing, man. They haven't had ideas since Trump became their guy, because Trump was that was their idea. Their idea was Trump, and we're just riding with Trump. What did Trump? He did one thing. He did the tax cuts
and gave him a bunch of judges,
which now for the next 7 years,
anybody in life,
unless you're a billionaire, for the next 7 years, your tax shit is going to go up.
Yeah.
Remember the downside of that? I remember they were signing that in law. They came out with all these charts. They're like, from 2021 to 2027, your taxes are going to get shittier. Like,
yeah. When I said tax cut, I wasn't talking about us in the first.
That was for Amazon. Yeah, Amazon got that.
But the thing is, they literally their last summer for the Republican convention, they didn't have a platform.
Right.
Like, that's the whole point of a fucking convention. The conventions there's two things you do at a convention. You fucking introduce your nominee.
Fuck prostitutes.
3 things you do at a convention. And you like the party platform.
Hey man, I just want to, and on top of everything that you fellows just said, on top of all of the problems they have, now they got Trump himself that they got to keep defending, steady throwing them shit balls. Throwing them shit balls.
If you step out of line, he's going to call you a writer and tell people not to donate. But in the meantime, you have to like constantly be like, hey man, if he runs in 2024, he's our guy again.
Look, I know this is fucked up, but I'm being just honest. I'm being honest in the moment. Y'all know how the fuck I feel about Trump, but I'm gonna tell you this. At this point, I'm actually a little bit of a fan, because here's why. If I lived 100 years from now, like my great-great-grandson, you know, when he hears about Trump, that nigga's gonna be Capone. He's gonna be Al Capone.
Right. It's gonna be like, wow, you were alive during the Trump era?
Right. It's gonna be T-Bot's dome scandal on steroids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If through some miracle of modern science, I make it to see like 98, and like, Grandpa, tell us again about that one crazy president you guys had that almost crashed everything. I was like, his name was Donald Trump.
Actually, there were 2. 2 of the same guys in a row.
There's been some stuff going on up in Minnesota right now. Minneapolis was a 27 million was awarded to the George Floyd family from the city of Minneapolis. They reinstated the 3rd-degree charge on Derek Chauvin on the murder case that he's in right now. They're in the midst of jury selection, which is actually being covered, which is like, obviously there's a level of importance to it. So what happened, X?
I'm sorry. I was just thinking about Derek Chauvin's defense is that they claim that George Floyd had some narcotics in his system.
Right.
And that's why he died, not because of
there was a foot blocking his airway.
And I'm like,
right.
So wait a minute. You mean to tell me that y'all, because they say that he somehow knew that he was intoxicated. So wait a second. You mean to tell me he thought putting the knee on the neck of a person who he knew was already inebriated was like,
yeah, I'm gonna help you
that
out.
was CPR. That was better. That's your defense.
I'm gonna help you out.
Better.
Yeah, it's the racism is everywhere. I mean, there was
get past the racism.
There was the Meghan Markle Prince Harry or whatever. That interview happened with Oprah. It's funny because there are a couple interesting things that came out of that. One, obviously, like, who would be surprised that the colonizers of you know what I mean? Like, who would be surprised that racism would come out of England, out of that?
That's literally the family that started the slave trade.
Right. Yeah.
That's literally the same family.
The inventors of modern day chattel slavery were probably not going to be fond of
about that, I guess.
Yeah, it's the same family. The exact same family.
Like, almost like specifically the exact, like, in some cases.
No, it is specific. That's like, she's like the great granddaughter.
I mean like from interbreeding. Oh
God, yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Family tree look real weird. Like, yeah, damn, this ugly tree.
Here's one of the things that I want to talk about.
That's why they hated Princess Diana, because she wasn't one of them.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. She was.
That's some vampire shit.
It was a level of actual care for the common person that she had. And Princess Diana was very concerned about Africa. And
too many pictures of her with little black babies, and you the queen.
Absolutely, that was not.
We the same people that's fucking these people. Stop holding their babies.
And so, one of the things that I actually took from it, though, is that there's a lot of shit being talked about the fact that Harry and Meghan aren't like broke people who are feeling this level of racism pointed to them. And I think it's I think that's a
royalty.
Yeah, but also like I think they gave up their titles, right? They did
give up their titles.
But like, she it doesn't, the real point though is like, and Sarah Silverman actually was talking about this on our podcast about how, like, Jews have gotten a lot of shit basically just because they have money. Like, the Holocaust was essentially like, these goddamn Jews have too much fucking money. Right? Like, they're wrong, they're evil because they're able to amass all this money. And like, you can still, like, just having a bunch of money doesn't mean that you can't be socially oppressed. Right? That, like, you can still have somebody you can be a millionaire black person and still have somebody call you a nigger. It's not like it, right. Like, all of a sudden it bounces off of the dollar bills that you have in your pocket. Like, that's not what
they stopped Patrick Ewing in Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Right. That just shows you.
Like, you should get fired for Patrick Ewing in Madison Square Garden.
But it's not like Patrick Ewing was in some type of horrible car accident and doesn't look like Patrick Ewing anymore. Like, he's a 7'1" man, first of all. You might as well automatically assume.
87-foot Jamaican that walks into Madison Square Garden should get treated like a king, because even if it's not Patrick Ewing, he's probably related to him, because how many 7-foot Jamaicans could there be?
Hey, man, what I'm trying to say, my whole thing is, at first I didn't give a shit. Like, I really didn't give a shit, and I didn't watch the interview. What I did was I seen it on the news, right? And when I saw her talk and I remembered all that shit that was going on, all I could think is, it doesn't matter how much money I have in my pocket if you treat me like shit. Like, racism is at every part of this society. Every part of Western society got a bit of racism in it, and so you getting money ain't gonna change that, outside of the fact that you could be in the room when they make the decision.
Well, one of the things I have noticed that now there's been a lot, like, black people in England now are starting to come out of the woodwork they're like, yep, not surprised. I just want everybody to be clear. Everybody else in England who is like, hey, maybe there's just some one-off shit, or maybe like, nah, they really like that over here. They like that over here. Okay, let me just.
No, the family trying to say that there was no race, that they're not racist. The baby wasn't gonna have a title. If y'all ain't being racist,
and no security.
Why was the baby not gonna have a title and security?
Yeah.
Why was he gonna be different than any other fucking royal? Because that was before they left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The last bit of racist shit I want to cover is.
Can we say Piers Morgan real quick? We have time. No.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I do want to talk about Piers Morgan, but I would just like to say I'm happy that he fucked up and is now gone.
And notice when he walked off the desk, he walked around so everybody could see him leave. You could have walked back towards the cameras and just walked the fuck up out of there, but you walked your big Humpty Dumpty ass all the way around the table so you could be seen.
Hey, you know what he did? He walked behind dude, and I think he walked behind dude like he thought dude was gonna be like scared, and dude didn't flex, and that probably scared Pierce punk ass, because dude didn't even like move like he thought he was gonna do some shit.
Well, I bet Pierce was hoping for anything to happen, right? Because he's a TV guy. Like anything that would have brought him some more attention. Like he was probably hoping that dude would have jumped up and did something to him, or like said something so he could have been like, he told me to fuck off, or like call me a slimy bastard, or whatever the fuck they get mad about over there. What people say, like call me a limey fuck or whatever. Like.
It's crazy. I saw that video of him storming off before I saw the video of him talking about that he tried to date her.
Oh yeah. He went out on like one date or something, and she
and the date she left that date, went to another party and met her husband. She met Harry at another party.
I thought when he said cut you off, I thought she meant like give it an interview.
I did too. Yeah,
no. He's got to recuse himself from the conversations. But he needs to be like, "Why I went on a date with her, so I shouldn't even talk about the whole."
This is white supremacy. This is white supremacy. Having the audacity to look like Piers Morgan and think that you can fuck Meghan Markle. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Dude, I am so in the same space you in. I'm like, I had no idea he was trying to bone. Oh, you on some player hating ass bitch made shit.
He's super bitch made.
Before, you were just a simple racist. It was before you were just a simple racist. Now I know you a hoe. Wow, that's amazing.
This nigga hating because she left him, met dude, and now this motherfucker's with Prince, and this nigga just go pour salt all the time. That's some super duper bitch shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, he bubbling with bitch. It's coming out all over.
Did either of you guys see the video of Myers Leonard slip up?
I did not. I know what it is.
I've seen the video. I've seen the video. He was, I think, playing Call of Duty or something. He was playing some type of like online game, and with kids. Yeah, he's on there and he streams. He's got a stream channel or whatever, and he used a ethnic slur for Jewish people. The one that starts with a K that I'm not going to use.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
I'm going to skip that one. But yeah,
that's another problem with all this. We watch ourselves all the time. Sometimes you just need to be able to say whatever stupid shit you say.
Well, I just don't.
But you can't say that.
I'm not saying that I agree with any of it. But I'm saying, like, if it's a time, like when you and I talk, there are things that we say that I wouldn't say to other people. But I don't record everything we say.
There's a healthy host of slurs I just don't use in any conversation. There's a bunch of shit where I'm just like, I could easily like cut that out of what I use.
That's not my point. My point is there's never a time where you can be private with this group of people. Like they just consistently want to be seen on the internet doing every fucking thing.
Well, he's a basketball player. You know what I mean? Like you got to learn, especially when you're a basketball player, you have to try and, you're in the public eye, man. This is a guy who wasn't kneeling with everybody when everybody was kneeling for the anthem. He was like, I'm going to stand. Of course, he's a white dude in the NBA. So like, there's only 4 of y'all anyway, who are from the States, right? Like you might as well just, He's got a week suspension. He's paying $500,000, I think, in fines, which I think, and he made an apology that actually was an I'm sorry and not like a,
I hate that you took it that way.
That apology was trash.
It's, I do think that, one of the things that people said is like, the things you say in private are things that you say in, it's the things you say in public are like, things are obviously things you probably say in private. Like it's not like you don't ever say that in private, then all of a sudden sometime in public, like, you know what I mean? Like, like if you see a white dude say nigga in public, he said that shit in private a lot. You know what I mean? Like a lot. And so like it makes me think, how often is Myers Leonard saying that shit when he's because that's a weird one. That's a weird one to say a lot. That's a weird one to say a lot. You know what I mean?
I'm sure he's not saying it at work. the N word or any other word at work, because they'd have beat his ass up a long time ago.
Yeah. Who knows? So let's see. X, you got anything coming up for the next week?
No, I got nothing coming up. I got some shows coming up next month, but y'all can check me out at XL Comedy, on all the, IG, Facebook, Twitters, all those things.
Nice. Rob, what is it, Sunday? Where should we be looking?
Be a little tease of what we doing.
Where should we follow, or how should we find it? What should we be looking for online to find it?
You can look for my new comedy special.
Yes.
It's called Lockdown.
Nice.
And so all of this is affiliated with Lockdown. So you ain't gonna have to look for it. It'll find you.
You can find me at Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. Find the pod at New OGs Pod. Get over to at People of Comedy and People of Comedy Network. Find out all the great shows they have. They're still streaming from some of the major clubs in Chicago. Get behind everything they got going on. That's it for us. We'll catch you next Friday. That's what's up.
They said we couldn't do it, now we do it just to say we did it. Fuck a critic on my pivot. I've been ballin'. Engine louder than T-Pain. When I started. Fuck your bitch, now she get attachment. She get calling. High school, you was that nigga. Now you falling. I'ma zigzag through the gang like I'm smoking on trees.